CMH 76ers. We were so far ahead of our time, man. Myron Piggy was the head coach. Jerron Rush, #1 player in the country. Corleone Young, #2 player. Ron Humphrey, #4 player in the country. We have Maurice Evans, Kareem Rush, Mike Miller, Corey Maggette. It was just a program full of pros. But we never really talked about NBA. You know, we traveled. It was the #1 Nike team in the country. We broke a lot of rules that we didn't know existed. You know, the way we traveled, the way we moved. And it's crazy because all the rules we supposedly broke and people went to jail for and people got suspended for now is legal. Name, image, and likeness. Right? And
Yo, this is Coach Mo. I'm here with the Evening Social Podcast. The Evening Social Podcast is the Jegna Klub's platform for career exploration videos. What the Jegna Klub wants to do is build a community of individuals who have an entrepreneurial mindset that are economically independent, working in harmony. To do this, the Evening Social Podcast puts out individuals that look like our students, that's from our students' background, that are thriving in a professional manner. Our guest tonight is from the Show Me State. He's a son, a brother, a husband, a father, an entrepreneur, owner, and a brand. I call him Hair Jordan, but it's DeJuan Bonds.
Well, thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Man, thank you for coming tonight. So if you were wondering, tonight's episode's titled Hair Jordan. Part of the definition of the word Jegna is that you're not being afraid to speak truth to power. A lot of people say that's hard conversations, but the only reason it's hard is because we do talk about past, future, how the pathway you got to success, and sometimes that brings up memories that we talk about family and other things. So, but other than that, this conversation is really not for me and you. This conversation is for those who come before us, those who come after us. So we're going to honor those who got us here, and then we're going to teach those who's trying to come up from behind us. All right?
Yes.
So let me just get this out the way and ask. DeJuan, what is your profession?
I am a barber for the last 25 years.
Okay. A barber. Are you married?
I am.
Okay. Do you have kids?
I do.
How many kids you have?
3 children.
Okay. So you are a family man, and barber, the profession of barber, takes care of your family.
Abundantly.
Okay, great. So we've talking before, and I said today wasn't the time to be, you know what I'm saying, modest. I want the kids to understand the different professions, and what comes with them, and that success doesn't look like what they think it looks like.
Sure.
Meaning like just per se, some of the things they see on TV. And you don't have to be on TV to have some of the things that you see on TV.
Absolutely not. I mean, first, before I even get started, I want to say thank you. I'm honored that you would actually entitle this show Hair Jordan. I mean, because we all grown up, and at least our generation had grown up watching Michael Jordan. So I imagine that that's where the topic came from, because you're saying in a way that you honor the fact that my craft and what I've done, that to say that, hey, we're talking to Hair Jordan. I mean, that's major, that's big. But as you said, or you asked, barbering has provided for me abundantly. So I can proudly say that.
Good. Yes, you are correct. So one of the things, we also like to do is let our listeners, our audience, understand these people, their professions, but then also, kind of give flowers too at that point. What you have done with barbering, the level that you are in, That's to be celebrated. It's to be commended. So we want to do that as well as why you allow the young people to look into your pathway to success and what that has done for you. So I appreciate it. You know, I asked you, you know, you've always messed with the Jegna Klub, our Boys to Men Club. You came down to Grant Elementary and spoke.
Yeah.
And I asked you then, I said, why you didn't come, man? I want them to see, you know. So I appreciate you dripping today, letting the young people understand, you know, you are a diplomat. Barbers can be diplomats too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I like that because it's not just the D-boys on the corner. You know, it's not just the professional athletes. It's not just the musicians, the rappers that can live a certain life and that can afford to have certain things. So I love that. I appreciate you coming. You know, and I'm looking forward to this great conversation. You know what I mean? And I just want you to know, no holds barred.
There's a great lifestyle. There's a great lifestyle. The audience out there in barbering, I mean, I have zero regrets in the choices that I've made in this profession.
Man, we're going to get straight to it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So let me start with a segment that I always start with. It's called Icebreaker. It's fun questions. And so I'm going to just give you a few things. This is just going to kind of break the ice for us, get it started, and then we're going to move into
Loosen up. Let's go.
Yeah, okay, here we go. So first question. Who's the better barber, you or Aaron?
Me, Bob. What? I mean, me.
For those who don't know, Aaron is my brother.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. No, I mean, all due respect to my brother, man. I mean, my guy who's been with me for the past 22 years. I mean, he good, but he ain't got me though.
He ain't got you.
He ain't got me though.
Okay. He good, but he ain't.
But
got
honestly
you.
though, in the barber industry, I respect all barbers and what they do. Each and every barber is different. Mm-hmm. Never ever do I talk about publicly what someone may do or do incorrectly.
Correct.
Okay?
Gotcha.
So each and every barber is different. They do what they do. I grade myself. If someone has done something that is not satisfactory to what I think, I hold that within myself. Never do I bash another man, another woman in the industry. It's nothing but love. So Aaron, you know, he's great. He's great in my eyes. He does things different than I do, and versa. He does things different than, I do things different than he does. So, but at the end of the day, I'm better.
Okay. And, you know, it's just first of all, for people who don't know, you know, that's my brother. That's your brother. You know, y'all been working together for a long time. I wouldn't even ask you if it wasn't him.
But that's like Kobe. I mean, rest in peace. But that's like, let's just say Michael Jordan in his prime. He's asking somebody like, "Hey, who's better?" He's not finna say someone else is better than him.
Correct.
You have to have that self-confidence.
You supposed to. That was just, I said that for him. You know, this is fun questions.
We're messing with you,
I would
Aaron.
never put no one else's name in there. It's just, I know the relationship y'all have.
Sure.
And it's all fun and jokes. We just enjoying it.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, I love to laugh.
One love.
Go. You know what I mean?
Ain't no game with me. I'm better than him.
Photo bombs. Oh, so he
Photo bomb. He
man.
just
So he photo
where
bomb.
he come from?
I don't even understand.
Security. Right.
All right. Question number 2. We get to this.
Mm-hmm.
If you could create a fortune cookie, to give yourself at 16, what would it say?
It would say, success is on the horizon.
Okay.
That's what it would say. That's what I would want it to say.
Success is on the horizon. I like that. Okay. All right. What would be the theme song of your life? Yeah.
Wow, man, you could have gave me a little time to think about that one, man. You just hit me with that like, I get money.
I get money.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, I like
That one. I mean, that's it. That's just it, man. I mean, in addition to, when I say that, it's in all due respect to all the other songs and everything out there that I may like, but in all due respect to everything that's precedent in my life, I can't do. First and foremost, I can't do nothing without my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Secondly, I can't do anything without money. Money makes all things possible, but I don't love money like that for where I glorify it. But end of the day, I
Makes
need
life
money.
easier.
It makes life easier. I need money. So yeah, I get money. That's my song.
I like that. I like that. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
What is the craziest, most daring thing you've ever done?
Craziest and most daring. I probably can't say that because there's a lot of viewers out there, but just like when I really think about what I've done, is just to step out there and just basically like when all people that I consulted with and thought that I can confide in told me not to, I just did it. You know what I mean? I just did it, and I mean, I just trusted in my own inner feelings that like, hey, you know what? This may not be the right time to do it, but let's just try it. And I just went for it. So in business, I think 11 years our economy was at the one of its worst points. You know what I mean? And that's when I decided to try to make a bigger, better business when all people said you probably shouldn't. So that's probably one of my most challenging and daring things that I did is when I decided to go out there and go from Nap's Barbershop to Purple Label, which 2-man shop, 8-man shop. That's my most challenging.
Okay. I like that. We're going to get into that, too.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get into that.
Okay, we can dig.
Okay. What talents do you possess that not many people know?
I don't have very many talents, but
Because sports is definitely not one of them. So
I mean that's a given. I mean I didn't think we were talking about that. I didn't think we were talking about that. I mean, like mad baseball skills, mad basketball skills. Your brother knows about that. I didn't put a couple of 1-2s on him back in the day. So
why does this photo bomber keep coming in?
Here he come.
What is the photo?
I don't understand. But honestly,
Hold
I think
on 1 second. Security. We really need security.
We
man.
really do. We really do. But I think like one of my other talents that I have is just the talent of being artsy. That is kind of like it comes out in the canvases that I have with the clients that I have in my chair. So as a youth, I drew all the time. I once thought I was going to be an architect, because I had a love for designing things, designing homes and buildings and stuff like that. I drew houses. I mean, oddly enough, I had a passion for drawing homes. So now my artsy abilities come out when I create different hairstyles for people.
Okay. I like that. Okay. A couple more, and then we're going to get into the nuts and bolts.
Mm-hmm.
What's your most treasured possession?
Probably my family. If I can use that as a possession.
There you go to being modest.
Huh? Okay, you don't want me to be modest. Don't be modest.
That goes without
Okay,
saying.
okay,
You know what
okay.
I'm saying? Health,
Right.
Life.
Fairly.
Family,
Okay.
all that goes without saying. Now we talk. This is okay.
Is
What's your most favorite purchase? Then? Let me say purchase.
My favorite purchase right now, my latest purchase, is my Porsche 911.
Okay.
So, I mean, I like that right now. I mean, I'm having fun. I'm switching gears on the interstate and sliding and grooving and punching.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
On that 911.
Hey, you know.
That's even better than that panorama that you had.
Oh yeah, that the Panamera is a 4-door.
Okay. It's 2.
I went from the 4-door to the 2-door. And it's just me and my boo, or me and my boy, you know what I'm saying? And we ride down the street, that kind of thing. So I open it up, and I get challenged a lot, and I always dust somebody because you don't want to mess with that 911.
Okay. All right.
Should I say 911?
All right. I like that. So I'm trying to get you to talk a little
Okay,
bit. That's why I'm asking these
I'm
questions.
a chill. I'm a chill.
Back, man.
I don't really like to do that,
I
but
know
you
that,
go.
and I understand it. But in this setting, the whole purpose is we're allowing our young people, our listeners, to understand what success has brought you in this field.
Okay.
And there's some of the things that they equate with success, and they looking at the videos and TVs, the things that they looking at can become from a honest profession by putting your head down, making certain choices, certain decisions, and you know what I'm saying, gambling on yourself, betting on yourself, putting you out there. Entrepreneurship, it can lead to these same things. It can lead to that. So that's what it is. Normally I wouldn't have, but I want them to understand that, man. Them to understand this come from Barber. All this come from the profession of barber. It can become from what they want. Now, we're not telling them to be barbers. I ain't telling them to do that. What I'm telling them is look at the choices you've made, your pathway, and take whatever their skill is, whatever their passion is, and put that same into it that you did. And that's what they can become there. That's
True.
it.
Very true.
So we're going to talk a little bit here and there, you know, about some of that. Okay, last question. Yep, last question. All-time favorite haircut that you've given?
All-time favorite?
Yeah. It could have been the very first one, the second one, the last one. Doesn't matter. Just the all-time favorite haircut that you've given.
Oh, man. I mean, probably 25 years ago, my first attempt at trying to do Bart Simpson. I tried to put Bart Simpson in the back of the head. That was when Bart was hot. Bart ain't too hot right now, but he's still on air. You know what I mean? But I attempted to do the Bart Simpson haircut on one of my friends in the bathroom when I first started cutting hair. At the time that I only had one pair of clippers. I mean, I would love to see. I'm not for sure if that photo is out there, but I would love to see what that haircut actually looked like 26 years ago. When I'll take that back. It was probably 30 years ago. I'm telling my age a little bit now, but it was probably 30 years ago because I've been in the industry right now for 25 years. So I would say that creative cut back then.
Okay. So were you in a barbershop then, or was this before?
No, that was before bathroom cuts.
That was bathroom cuts. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was bathroom cuts. But I mean, I've done so many different haircuts over the years that you know, everything that's current right now, everything that everybody's doing right now, I've done it. I did it a long, long time ago. This is like the second or third time around for all these creative styles that people are getting fancy parts, flames, Gucci, Nike, whatever you want to put in your head. It cycles through. Yeah. I've done that. The sad thing is the social media aspect is showing and glorifying it way more than what it did 20 years ago because we didn't have it.
Right. Okay. So I had to get on here because I had some questions to make sure that I asked a few to make sure I asked. You know what I'm saying? Do you remember your first mistake in cutting hair?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
You do? What was it?
Actually, it was well into my barbering career because I self-taught myself how to cut hair, went through barber school, and when I went through barber school, I just got faster. They didn't really teach me how to cut. It just, I just got quicker and learned shortcuts and things like that. But it was when I first got into, let me back up. It wasn't when I first got into it. It was actually, I was a professional. I was actually cutting on a professional athlete at the time. So I deal a lot with the detachable blades. And if there's anybody out there that knows anything about barbering, they use the blades. There's a blade that's a one blade, and there's a blade that's called the 0A or the OA blade. And they feel the same. And as I was working, I was working and talking, I reached over here to try to grab my one blade, and I grabbed my OA blade. And this particular guy wanted a one with the grain, and I grabbed the OA blade with the grain, and it hit. It said, eh. And he heard it. He heard it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I just did it. He said, what was that? There was no fixing it. It was, at that point, it was a OA against the grain is what it was that was going to fix it, a lot lower than what he wanted. So yeah, it was a professional athlete at the time. I was working and moving and grooving, moving fast. I was working on feel instead of on look. I then learned that all blades, you must take a look. You must take a look. You can't just go with the feel because some feel the same.
Okay. I appreciate you. You know.
Oh, that was a learning lesson for me too.
Good. Let's move into growing up. All right. So where were you born?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City, Missouri. What part?
Moside. Actually, I was born in Midtown in the 50s.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna hold that against you.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Yeah.
All right. So describe for us the relationship you had with your mom growing up.
Beautiful. Like, I mean, my mother, you know, I love and respect her with the utmost and appreciate the relationship that I had with her. And I know you didn't ask me about my father, but as well, that okay, yeah, but my mother, I mean, you know, she was a strong young black mother. You know what I mean? To be 17 with a child and 18 with 2 children. You know what I mean? And still somehow found a way to make things happen for us.
Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna ask you to describe your relationship with your dad growing up.
My relationship with my biological father at that particular time wasn't very strong. You know, he was there but just wasn't present all the time. So I am thankful for my stepfather who met my mom at that tender age of 18, and she and him decided to date and eventually got married. But you know, for a young man to marry a woman with 2 children at that particular time, you know, and he had 0. I mean, I'm forever grateful, you know what I mean, for that situation, because it had not been for that, who knows? You know, who knows where I'd be right now or where I would have ended up. So my particular situation was great, and I'm very grateful for the guy, you know, who stepped in and I call dad now. You know what I mean?
Okay, good. You know, we like to ask these questions, not bringing up hard things, but our kids need to understand sometimes that they're not the only ones going through certain situations, coming up, growing up, certain situations at home, family life, things like that. So that's why we ask.
Oh, absolutely.
Appreciate you being able to tell us that. Because one thing that I've always say is to have a good family life doesn't look like one particular thing.
No.
A good family life is a good family life because of who you have in your family and who's there with them.
True.
I like them to see that different way. So
Oh yeah.
Talk about that. Talk a little bit about your grandparents. So your relationship with your grandparents growing up.
Well, I mean, you know, like every young child, I won't say every, but most young children, you know, you grow up at granny's. You know what I'm saying? You spend a lot of time there. Your parents tend to drop you off over there so they can get some time to hang out with themselves and get away from y'all. So I grew up in my grandmother's house too. You know, that was like my second home. You know, unfortunately, my grandparents weren't together. You know what I mean? But my grandmother, she helped raise all her grandchildren, you know, to some capacity. So love her dearly. You know, she's still with us, and I adore her. You know what I mean? So I've lost both of my grandfathers, but I have both of my grandmothers. You know, so from my mom's mother to my father's my father's mother.
Wonderful. That's great. It's always good, you know, to have grandparents.
Oh, grandparents are a necessity.
They touch you in so many different ways than parents can, you know, actually touch. That's wonderful. Just real quick, talk about your siblings.
Mhm.
I heard you say you had a brother.
Mhm.
Is that the only sibling you have?
I have 2 brothers and a sister. There's 4 of us total. So, um, we had the typical household where, there's the sibling rivalry, that kind of thing. So I mean, all of us are kind of close in age. So with that, with thank you. So all of us are close in age, within a couple of years. So we butted heads and battled about everything that all children or households will battle. But at the end of the day, I mean, it was a lot of love, that was shared in that house from our parents. You know what I mean? So blessed and fortunate to have 2-parent home where we were able to, come together. Even though we butted heads, we ended up working things out, and I was the antagonizing child. You know what I mean? It's the one that um, caused the most problems. You know what I mean? But as you can see, there is light at the end of the tunnel for those problem kids.
I like it. So they're bringing out the food for us. This is brought to you by Andre Dorn,
Mm-hmm.
Taste of Flavor.
Mm-hmm.
So we had this come on out. He said he put this together special for you. This
Okay.
something special, that he had going on.
My, oh my. All right.
So you gotta let me know what it do.
Am I supposed to? What you
gonna
mean?
eat? We gonna eat and still talk. This like we having a. This like you came
okay.
over to the house.
Oh, we breaking bread.
Yeah, we breaking bread.
Okay, thank you.
So this is I can't remember what he called it. Chicken spinach something.
Hey man,
that's what it is.
This looks like a feast.
Yeah.
Chicken scampi.
Chicken scampi. Okay, chicken
All right,
scampi is what we call it. Okay, chicken scampi. All right. Now, I also got to say this. His mom, Mom's, Miss Marcy, made the dessert fire.
Hey, I love cake.
So I'm just we getting in. And then this right here, this is a local brew of tea.
Okay.
Local brew of tea. I ain't gonna say the name because I talked to Cam last week. Told him, man, we need your sister because my guy Cam Smith's sister makes this, but we gotta get her on the show.
Some good tea.
Have her come on down. She got this tea, man.
All right.
When you taste, I'm talking.
I got some of the best buds, man. I feel like my lips is gonna keep it real.
I want you to come on and give us a review.
Okay.
You know
okay.
As we get down.
All right.
I don't know. Do you want to? We got ranch and Italian dressing.
You know what? Man, I ain't had Italian in so long. I'm gonna go ahead and go dive into the Italian.
Italian?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna get a little Italian dressing for it. That's what he likes. So we can get some Italian dressing. I want a little ranch and Italian, but he just wants Italian.
Yeah.
I mix
yeah,
both.
no doubt.
So now, as we move on, let's talk a little bit about school. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you grew up in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you go to school? Grade school.
Grade school. I went to. It depends. I mean, in Missouri, on the Missouri side, I mean, either one is fine. Yeah. Yeah. Is that it right there?
He wants Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna use both of them. But you let him get it, and I'll get it from him. I'm gonna let him get started first.
Thank you.
I'm gonna just hit a little bit of here.
So you mix yours?
Yeah, I mix.
Oh, you want something different?
Yeah, I mix it, man. I mix it. Mixologist, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mix that down. Oh yes, please. I definitely want that feta cheese on this side.
Oh, no cheese.
I will take a little bit of that feta on there. Thank you very much. So he put it all the way together for us, man.
This is a nice spread, man.
I had hair doing come. He said,
I appreciate it.
Wow, and then too, he know that this weekend, is our haircut social again.
Sure.
So he was like, he wants to make sure he put put on a show.
Hey,
But,
just
you know.
just make sure that peach cobbler, Mama. Make sure that peach cobbler is
Oh,
here.
that peach cobbler. You said it's another
I mean-
another request for that peach cobbler. You said,
Make sure
Mama,
that
make
peach
sure that
cobbler
peach
here,
cobbler
Mama.
here.
There it is.
Well, hey, this the same pound cake. And the
Okay.
peach cobbler will be there. I just talked to her about that, making
That's
sure
it. That
that's
peach
there.
cobbler, man.
That peach cobbler fire. All right. So you said you went where for grade school?
What you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to eat.
You gonna bless that?
Well, I'm not gonna bless it all the way together, but I have said a
Oh,
prayer
you
for
said yours?
myself.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
well that's cool.
Okay,
Let me
yeah.
get mine one time.
Yeah, okay. Well, you do your thing. You know.
Yes, sir. My apologies, sir. I know you grateful for this.
I sure am.
So on the Missouri side, I went to Border Star. I started out at Border Star Elementary.
Okay.
You know, that was off in Brookside. So after that, we ended up moving to South Kansas City, and I ended up going to a school out there in South Kansas City, like Grandview-ish area. And it was called Symington Elementary. From Symington, I went to Smith Hill Junior High, and from Smith Hill Junior High, I went to Ruskin High School. So that's my background in education as far as K through 12.
Okay. All right. Ruskin High School. All right. Talk a little bit about school. Did you play sports in school? Did you do clubs in school? What'd you do?
Well, I was a part of the Glee Club and the choir.
Okay.
No, definitely not. Of course, you know,
Nothing
like
wrong
all
with
kids.
nothing's wrong with those.
No,
who are part
no,
of the
right,
Glee Club
right.
or the
Nothing wrong with the Glee Club or the choir or playing in band, but that just wasn't my deal. So, of course, like all children, you grow up watching sports on TV. That's what I wanted to do. So, of course, I played all sports. I played football, basketball, baseball. So I participated in all sports as a freshman, and then moving as I progressed, you know, I ended up sticking to just football, baseball. I did basketball for 1 year. You know, my pride was a little hurt, you know, when I didn't make the team. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, I was okay. You know, I played freshman ball, and then that was it. You know, when it came to like JV and varsity, when I didn't make the team, didn't see my name on the board, I just was like, okay, I'm good with that. You know, I went from football to taking a break to being able to, you know, play baseball in the spring.
So, do you have any other activities other than sports? Like musician, any other activity that you did in high school? Any of those?
I didn't get into anything else. You know, just when I was in school, you know, I knew that in order for me to play sports, I needed to maintain a certain GPA. So that was my drive, you know, as when I was there. In order for me to do the things that I enjoyed and make school, you know, fun and also flow kind of quick, it was easy for me to break it down and say, hey, I'm in football. That starts the school year. Maintain that certain GPA so I can stay playing football. Took a break, depending on the year, and that was that Christmas break or whatnot. That's when basketball was going on, and then when basketball season was over, baseball season started. So I still maintained the same grade point average, although I wasn't playing, because I knew that if I did not maintain that grade point average, then I wouldn't be able to play my sport. I mean, that was just my own basic way of thinking. You know, in order for me to play,
Gotcha.
I gotta maintain these grades.
Okay. So while you were in school, you started learning cutting hair. You started cutting hair.
Actually, yeah. I mean, because you know, if I were to raise this brow, and I mean, there's this brim on this hat, you'll see that my hairline dang near touched my eyebrows. So back then, the funds weren't there for haircuts. We got haircuts every 5-6 weeks. there was a pair of clippers in the house. So I just looked at them one day as my mom attempted to try to cut our hair in between actual barber visits. I picked them up and was like, "Hey, bro, let me try to line you up." That's what I started with first, just to try to line him up. And then next thing you know, it just took off from there, and I began to mess up and mess up and mess up to perfection.
Okay. So you cut your own hair too?
To this day, like right now,
No, just period. Have you cut your
I
own?
have. I did for a long time, but right now it's just so enjoying to sit in the chair. But 15 years of my life has been dedicated to going back and forth between natural hairstyles and fades. So I haven't had a need to do much lately.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, I want you to go ahead and get you a bite,
Let me see what's going on
I'm
here.
gonna let you go and get a bite, so I'm gonna give you a couple seconds to let me know what you think about this chicken scampi, as he
Okay.
calls it.
I'm almost smiling already because I know what he do, man. Let me see. Mm. Man, that's crazy. I like it.
You like that chicken scampi?
I like it. Let me.
Okay.
I mean,
Let you hit it again, just make sure.
that's just on the noodles, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I ain't even hitting
Get the
inside
chicken
this.
yet. You gotta get the
this
chicken in there.
yet. Let me see what's going on with this chicken breast.
I noticed we ain't had no more photo bombing. He got his plate.
Oh, he
Photo
over there
bomber stopped.
satisfied.
Yeah.
He over there can't move. Let me see.
So, can we say when we say Dre put his foot in this
I
again?
mean, again, another one for Dre.
Another one for Dre.
Another one.
Okay.
In my what's that boy name? I'm showing my age. What's his name?
Who?
The rapper to say another one.
Oh, and another one.
And another one. I'm old, man. I can't even think of that.
That's Khaled.
DJ Khaled voice.
Yeah.
Man, y'all youngins, forgive me, man, because I know y'all know. I should have known that one.
Okay, well, I'm glad you like it. Once again, this is my good friend, Andre Doing, put this together. A taste of flavor, man. Wonderful food. And like I said, when I told him I had you coming, and you even said, man, I want to come on a day that, you got Dre. I know you knew that. But when I told him, he's like, yo, I got something special for one. I got something. I'm like, okay, what is it? He's like, nah, let me try it first. I'm like, okay. So he came and put something together. I've never even had this before. So this is something he put together. It's my first time having it. So,
man, this is good.
I think he did it. I appreciate it. We haven't heard nothing from, security figured out how to get the photo bomb. Just give him a plate. You know what I'm saying? Right. We got that. So there we go. So talk a little more about school as we go on. I just want to ask, do you have memories of a teacher or a coach that was influential in your life that you think helped, put you on the path that you're on?
To be honest with you, I mean, I don't have one teacher that was an influencer. I mean, I think there was a group of them that I just remember, just help molding me and encouraging me along the way. Not one in particular teacher that I can say, hey, I thank. Because I mean, I believe that everything is about timing. In that particular time, it wasn't for me to have that one particular teacher at that school that was just like, hey, there was some coaches and stuff like that, say, hey, man, you need to do this, you need to do that, and I believe in you, all those inspirational words and stuff like that. But I just believe that it was more family from my experience. It was more family than it was than one in particular teacher.
Okay. That's
yeah,
good.
Just from my experience.
That's good. We always talk about a network. One of the first pillars for the Jegna Klub is relationship building, networking, and it's teaching the students and kids to understand that network is like having a net, and if you don't have those pieces in place, that's when you start falling through the net. But when you have a network, that's when you start bouncing up. And some people's network start at home and they have that whole net at home, and then it expands from there. Other people don't have both those pieces or certain pieces at home, and so other people feel that and fill up that net.
So that's exactly it. It's that foundation that started at home. I was fortunate enough to have that. The foundation was there, but the finance wasn't really there. You know what I mean? So it was just that loving home foundation that really kind of helped me with the influencers at school that kind of that helped with the molding of who I became, But honestly, it wasn't the school for me. It was more so the Christian home background that helped a lot with structure in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as we talk about this, I gotta ask. I gotta ask these questions. So we talking about, and I've heard you say a couple times now that as you were growing up, money was tight. Money wasn't there. It really wasn't money to be visiting the barber shop on a more consistent basis than 5 weeks or so. So with that being said, growing up, how did you not fall into of other things? How did you not, or maybe you made them? I don't know. But how did you not fall into, doing things for other things for money? Well, let's talk about that.
Sure, I wasn't around it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I was, again, if it wasn't for my stepfather, I could have been.
Okay.
But he felt the need at whatever point to get us away from it. You know what I mean? So he took us away from it, and then again, the foundation. And this doesn't happen for all, but for us, we were in Christian school. We went to private school, and then we finally was able to go. When I talked about the school background, I just went with what came to mind first. But now as I think about it and you pose that question, like we were in private school. You know what I mean? We went to Carver Christian Academy, Carver Christian School, whatever it was called back then. So, Brown Caldwell Christian School. We was in multiple Christian schools. I think that kind of helped. It helped with me. It doesn't help with all. And I think that, we were in church all the time. Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, Saturday night, all kind of revivals all the time. I believe that helped a lot. But as we grew older and we were adolescent youth, I believe that foundation from then had a lot to do with it. We knew better. You better not get off into that. You know what I mean? Or it was like I never been around it, so I don't really know I don't know nothing about that.
Okay.
So, to be honest with you, I mean, I've never, ever smoked weed in my life.
Great.
So I don't know nothing about that lifestyle. I don't. So, I guess that's why it hasn't been anything
Wasn't a draw
else.
to you.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about it. And a lot of that back then is like you as an athlete, you don't do that. But a lot of things have changed today, but back 25, 30 years ago, you athletic, you don't be doing that kind of stuff. It was only select few that got themselves involved with that 30 years ago. Now, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, everybody did it. but you just everything comes around and goes around. It's just the evolution of how things happen. Like I said, the haircut thing, I did that stuff 30 years ago. Now it's coming back. So I guess that's kind of why I never did.
Okay. So let's move as I'm giving you time, to touch this because I was hungry. I didn't eat lunch today.
Man, hold on, man.
So that tea, which
Hold on, man. What is this?
yeah,
Hold on,
man, I
man.
told you, man.
I hope the mic didn't pick up that.
I'm supporting local and black businesses, man. We making sure that we putting it out here.
That need to be in the bottle.
It is in a bottle.
Okay.
I'll show you the bottle afterward. Cam, have your sister come holler at me. I need to know. We need to talk to her.
Put that in the bottle.
We need to be getting this even more. We need her on the show, and we need to get it more frequently on the show.
Yeah, get that.
Yeah, we need that to be one of the official drinks of the
Man.
show. Yeah, we gonna holler.
So yeah, that's it right there.
Okay. All right. So and as we're moving, getting to high school senior year. So, are you thinking about going to college, playing sports in college, or do you think about that, or are you thinking, well, I'm going to go to barber school? What are you thinking senior year coming up?
Senior year, I'm definitely thinking about going to college. I'm thinking about being an athlete like most young men and women do. They want to go there and, they want to play whatever their select sport is. That's what I had in mind. I had no other goals in mind at that particular time. I wanted to play baseball. I had a baseball scholarship to a junior college, so I went there and I played. And I don't want to get too far ahead of your question, but I definitely went and I played at the JUCO for, a short period of time.
So what JUCO was it?
It was Highland JUCO. I went to Highland
So you went
Community
to Highland?
College. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I played baseball at Highland Community College, and my opinion, I thought I was better than all the talent that was out there, which I was, but I don't know. I don't really want to call it a black card, but it was a black card, I think, you know what I mean, and it didn't allow me to get on the field as much as I thought I should have got on the field. So I ended up asking for a transfer after semester, got a transfer and came back home to Longview Community College, and I played baseball at Longview because I had a relationship with the coach there.
Okay.
So I played baseball at Longview for the whole season. Of course, it was sweet revenge to be able to play against Highland Community College. You know what I mean? So we battled, and I had my moments to get revenge against them. So
now, what position do you play in baseball?
Well, and I grew up playing third base. I love the hot spot because, I feared no ball coming in my direction, and I had a really good arm. But when I went to college, they was just like, yo, you're a little small for the third base. That's usually for the meteor-sized, bigger guys or whatnot. So they chose to put me in the outfield, my speed, and I played well there too. So I was okay with playing center field.
Okay. You play center field out there. So come back from Highland. They release you. You were at Longview. And you played that first year there?
Yeah, I played the whole season there at Longview.
Okay. So you didn't play a season at Highland?
I played fall.
Okay, fall. And at the winter break is when you came?
That's when I left. I came back home after a semester.
Okay. And so, which would be your freshman year.
Still.
You played that freshman season, but now you're at Longview.
At Longview, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
So you're at Longview. So did you go back to Longview the next year?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So what led to that?
Well, I felt like, it was time to get ready to make decisions on other colleges and stuff like that. So I was getting burnt out on baseball. I played baseball all my life, from T-ball all the way up to the JUCO level. So I was just like, you know what, I don't really want to do it, because I found myself finding excuses to skip practice and not be there and plant my car here. Coach, I was stranded, and I just took a look back and like, yo, what am I doing?
So is this, I don't mean to cut you off, I'm going so we can
Yeah.
hear. So is this during the season that you were playing?
This was during the season that I was
during that season while you were playing.
like I felt like I wanted to do other things, you know, hang with girls or not go to practice or not go to the game for other sakes. So I was just making excuses not to be there. So I was just like, yo, I really don't want to do this anymore.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
I had an option to go to FAM, Florida A&M. I had an option to go there, play baseball, continue it. But I was just like, I'm doing these type of things, so I really must not want to play anymore. I'm just like not.
It's very self-aware.
I'm not there, you know. So if I must find something else to do, obviously.
Okay. So you just knew this about yourself at this time, or was this conversation?
Yeah, it's
with
like
other people,
I was like, I'm done.
Okay.
You know, and another thing, you know, you like a lot of times guys and young men and women think that scholarships are given in pairs. They're not, you know. So, you know, I had an opportunity to go to FAM with another friend, but he chose to go elsewhere. That meant I would be going to FAM by myself, and that was another factor. It was another factor. I'm like, yo, I played ball with my boy ever since 8th grade, so I don't really want to go if he not going there. So that was another decision that was that made me say, hey man, what am I doing? Is this really what I want to do? Should I start looking at other things to do?
Okay. So you made this. You're looking at your life. We're realizing that baseball really ain't what you want to do anymore.
Mhm.
You choosing not to go to FAM. So now what are the choices that you're looking at to move to?
I had nothing else that I really wanted to do at that particular time, but I had a strong mother. I'm glad you asked me about that because
Okay.
she said, well, you don't want to play ball. You don't want to go to college anymore. You got to do something. You can't just sit around here.
Okay.
So she said, why don't you go to barber school?
So
I was like,
this is mom. Mom put that in your head.
Because I'd already had the house taken over. The house got took over by all the neighborhood kids,
Okay.
and high school kids that was coming through. And, you know, she was just like, why don't you think about going to barber school? I was like, Mom, I don't want to be a barber. It's not what I want to do. Barber?
No, why would you say that? What were you thinking back then?
I don't know what I was thinking. That wasn't what I wanted to do.
Were you honestly thinking?
I really was.
Okay, but were you honestly thinking that you don't want to go to barber school because that profession didn't look like it could provide you the type of lifestyle that you, in your mind, visioned yourself having? Was that true? Was that honest?
30 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
barbering was not what it is today.
Okay,
But
I understand that.
barbers have always been important in the community,
Mm-hmm.
but it's glorified on a different light right now than what it was then.
Correct.
Yes.
I understand that. That's why I'm asking you. See,
I just didn't want to. I was like, barbering, man, nah.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking because
Right.
I kind of understand, you know, back then. I was cutting hair in high school, cutting my brother's hair, you know, going off cutting hair, but it just wasn't. It was always a good profession. The men were respected and all that, but it didn't have the glorification of what the field has now. And what it was, you know. I got to say, after the movie Barbershop, then barbers really start getting
Yes, it
glorified, and people really start understanding the role that barbers play in the community. And I brought that up just to say, you know, now we moving toward talking about getting into barber and the role you play, because I also think that, you know, you have played, especially in our area, you have played a role in people seeing what barbering can be, because barbering can also be a brand. You know, it also can be a brand. And I'm getting into that because you played a role in that around here. So let's just get into how you're getting more into barber. So you said you already had the house taken over. All right. So you went off to college. Right. You were in college at Highland. Were you cutting in Highland?
I was cutting in the dorms at Highland, yeah.
Okay. You was cutting. While you were at Longview, were you at home?
I was at home.
You was at home, so you were cutting at home with Longview. Okay. And you already had just still same people that were from high school you were cutting
homies.
to coming? Okay. So you got the house taken over.
Yeah.
You cutting hair. You going? Mom says, "Let's go to barber school." So now what? What happens?
Well, her and my father, they drug me down there, and next thing you know, I'm signed up, getting ready to start ASAP. It was probably like the following week. I was already enrolled. Like, I mean, oh my gosh, it's crazy how much I paid. It's crazy how much I paid to be a barber. 20, 30, 25, 26 years ago. Crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy the amount that I paid then.
And you don't want to say that.
I mean, I'll tell you. I mean, I'll probably say that 25, 26 years ago, I paid $1,500 to be a barber.
Okay. $1,500.
That's what it cost for me to be a barber. $1,500.
Okay. And at that time, when you're going down there, you definitely don't want to spend this $1,500.
That's big money back then. That's big money.
That's big. All right. I believe it's always money, but I'm just saying that's not your first of mind. And even when you're going into school, it's still not wanting to be a barber.
No, at that point when they took me down there, I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. You know what I mean?
Okay, you was gonna give it a try.
I was receptive to it then.
Okay.
But first mention, no, I was like, man, I don't want to be no barber.
Okay.
Yeah, but no. A couple of days after giving it some thought, yeah.
Okay. So they took you to where to go to school?
I got my education and training, extended training from Elamar's Barber College. Shout out Elamar's, Miss Mac, Miss Nikki. Well, Miss Nikki was a student with me at the particular time, but now she's an instructor.
Okay. So you're down there, you're in school. Talk to me about, the reason I'm asking you these questions now is leading up to some of our young listeners, whatever, just thinking about becoming a barber, you know, like what they have to go through. So at this time, you're going to school. Do you have certain requirements that you have to do? And I want you to just talk. I don't want to say it, but I want to talk to me about the requirements and what's going on, because first people think about barber school, and I got to say this. When most people think about barber school, you know what they think about?
What's that?
I'm going here, I'm going to get these clippers, and I'm jumping right here. I'm going to start cutting on his hair, and that's the first thing people think about barber school.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to me about what was the requirements. What's barber school?
It don't go down like that. Ladies and gentlemen and young ladies, whoever is inspiring to be a barber, there's structure in everything that you do. So first and foremost, it may have been like that then, but because of the way things are now, you have to have a structure and guidelines to follow in order for things to pan out the way they should. You're just going to have a rat race and a whole bunch of people thinking they can just come. It just boils down to following the structure that's in place, and wherever you are, whether it's barber school, whatever job you have, or whatever career path that you choose, you have to follow structure. You have to learn that first. Discipline and following the structure that they have in place before you can even, step foot in putting a barber coat on or picking up a pen to do whatever it is you're trying to do.
Okay. So I know one of the things that most people don't realize. Did you even know about a hair follicle before you went?
I didn't know how deep hair follicles were. I can tell you that. No, I had no idea. That science behind the book was good to me, to learn the different skin conditions and things that happen with the hair and the reason for hair loss or scalp disorders and things like that. That was what barber school really, really taught me, because I was different. I already knew. I self-taught. And there are going to be some like that that's going to be able to say, hey, I went into school knowing. But knowing all, you don't know all. Always be open-minded. Always be open-minded to learn something different and something more, other than thinking I know it all. I just need the paper. I already know how to cut. I need to do that. I mean, there's so much more to cutting hair than just cutting hair. You have to learn about the individuals, the different types of individuals that come in there and how to handle their hair.
Right. Yeah. I've heard several barbers. Like I said, I've heard several barbers say a lot of things. And one of the things that I've always heard is most of the time people go into school and not realizing that there's books and not realizing that they actually have class where you're studying and reading about hair. And then for those who don't know, I say this all the time, barber is a profession. There's a reason it's a profession, because barbers, not only do they just cut hair, now, I know I'm talking, but I'm putting it out here, but barbers also teach their clients how to do what?
Maintain. So yeah, you have to know. He's right. The educational part of knowing more than just how to cut the hair is knowing the science behind how the hair is nature, or how you can care for the hair, and help your client. You know what I mean? With different issues that they may come up with. You know what I mean? So, definitely more to it than going out there thinking that I just want to I want to learn how to do a design. I mean, like, that's probably the one thing that people want to learn most that I'm hearing these days. Like, they want to go to school to figure out how to do a logo of some sort. That's not it. Master the cut first. Master the craft, the art of being a barber and giving somebody a quality haircut. Then also knowing how to handle situations when someone comes in with dandruff or, any kind of other scalp disorder. Like what to do and how to tell that person how to go about caring for their skin and healing the skin. So it's interesting. It's definitely interesting when it comes to the book. Just like any subject, just like anything that you go to school for, you trying to learn. It ain't. You go to school for finance. It's more than just counting money.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot to it, and it's fun.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you this question. It may be different for you, but what is one of the funkiest body smells that you know of? I gotta see if you gonna say one. I gotta see if you said, "Man, I'm telling you, I cut a hair once."
Okay, so without just it being obviously someone's breath.
Well, okay,
We're gonna exclude the breath.
Correct.
But as a barber, it's foul. It's foul. If I peel somebody's ear down, and that ear has got that ear funk, oh my God, all that sweat and dirt and build up behind the ear, it'll blow you back.
Yeah.
It'll blow you back.
So I keep trying to tell my son, man, make sure that you clean behind your ears.
Behind your ears, man.
That's the seriousness, man.
Yeah, behind your ears is bad, boy. It'll blow you down if you get the right one.
Yeah, I buckle your knees, man.
Yeah, it'll get you, boy. It'll be like, whoa, what was that?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
I had to bring that out, man. You ain't think I knew about that.
Oh man, that's tough right there. That's funny.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now let's move a little bit into you're going to school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of the requirements for school. When you come out of school, what are some of the requirements that you have to meet to be able to be a licensed barber? Can you tell me that so our listeners understand certain requirements that you have to meet?
Well, I mean, you have the main requirement after coming out of barber school is to complete the course. You have to have the 1,500 hours.
The hour, okay, there we go.
The hours that you have to have.
Okay.
And then after you do the hours, you have to go get tested. You have to get your testing.
Take a test, okay?
There's
now,
a couple
this
of
a
tests.
written test?
It's a written test and a practical test that you have to complete.
Okay, there we go. So it's 2 tests.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Say you pass both of them, it's on. It's a green light. You choose the barbershop that you chose or salon that you choose to work at, and you follow the structure.
There we go.
It's simple. You follow the structure where you work. And a lot of people, maybe jumping the gun, but a lot of people want to go out and get their own thing. I don't suggest that.
We listen. See, we hitting it. Go ahead, talk. Why don't you suggest that? I just passed my board.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm coming. I'm like,
What do you know?
I can't go start my.
What do
own?
you know? What do you know?
I like
you have to be under someone's umbrella, understand how to work and be in the barbershop atmosphere and get an understanding on how he's doing it, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's him or another guy that you have to be up underneath or a gal that you have to be underneath. You can't just go out there and say, hey, I want to be my own barber, start my own. You can. You can. There are some people out there. I say you can't, but it's not likely that you're going to understand how to do it just from barber school. Unless you already went to business class or business. You already went to college for business admin.
There's things about business that you have to
right.
understand.
You have to, and I even think that going to school, going to college for it can't really teach you.
Correct.
Experience is the best teacher, in my opinion.
So one thing I always say, because here with the Jegna Klub, our whole vision is to build individuals with an entrepreneurial mindset.
Right.
So we want to be owners rather than renters. We want to be producers rather than consumers. That's what we're teaching. But at the same time, I always say this, that doing that does not mean that you never work for a company or someone else. Because I think the most important, if you look at the blueprint of a lot of successful businesses, a lot of successful entrepreneurs, they didn't just come right out and just start owning something. They went and they got the blueprint.
Yep.
They got up under somebody, they got next to somebody and got some tutelage. Start understanding, understanding the overhead that comes with running a business.
Right.
Understanding that you're never off when you run a business.
Right.
It's a lot of other things. Understanding that the problems that come with, the turnover. I mean, it's a lot of things that come with running a business. Yeah. Not to deter anyone from opening a business or doing a business, not to deter any of those things. But I just like that you said that, that a good suggestion, better suggestion that leads to more success would be understanding how by getting the experience. Yeah, I can bump my head and go out here and keep bumping my head. If I bump my head and I take this loss, we'll just build and fold.
Right.
With this business, but we'll go. Or I can go in and learn how to do this, and then guess what? I'm not bumping my head at these things. I know how to survive because of this. One of the greatest things that I think that barbers are, and you can tell me if you think this is not true, is communicators. Do you know how to communicate?
You have to. That's a gift or a skill that you have to have, whether you have it naturally or you get it over time. You have to be a communicator in this industry.
We can ask him. I think he's still. We can ask them if they can take the place. And,
hey, wrap mine up though for sure.
Yeah, he definitely wants to. We got a little something to go home. But
Okay,
you can ask him. You can ask him. We're gonna get the plates and get him out here, and then we get him a to go. But I am gonna touch this. I'm gonna touch this cake though.
Oh yeah, let me see what that do.
I am gonna touch that cake just a little bit.
I'm gonna get to this backside first.
Yeah. Well.
That's a pound cake, boy.
It's about, she throw down just
that's
like
a pound cake.
Just like you asked for that cobbler. She throw down that pound cake.
That's old school.
Yes, man. So, you finished school now. You're coming out of school. You've passed your board, passed your test, your board. Where do you go from there?
Well, I worked in my aunt's salon.
Okay.
And there was plenty of days where I had nothing to do. Trying to build a clientele, trying to wait on cuts. Like, it was 3 cuts a day, 1 cut a day type stuff all day long. You know what I mean?
Okay. So you mean tell me you at her? No, I'm gonna keep that now. Hold on, bro. I'm keeping this. Thank you, bro. I'm just messing with you. Thanks. So you're in the salon, and you mean tell me that you there and all day nobody or only one person?
Yeah, it was plenty of days like that.
Okay.
Plenty of days like that, and I sat and waited and hoped. I ran out seeking for people.
Okay.
Handing business cards to people, going to whatever avenue I could. Yeah, go ahead.
You want to take that salad?
Yep. Thank you. Yep, take it. I'll wrap it up, though. So yeah, it was plenty of days just running out there trying to pass out, build the network. I mean, try to do whatever I could, and it got to a point where it got better and better and better over a period of time. It wasn't overnight. About a year into it, I'm doing really well. I mean, I'm loading up. Finally, it's starting to get going, some consistent money, from a consistent $100 a week to $300 a week, and I was like, yo, I'm getting it. And then, boom, all of a sudden my aunt decides that she wants to close her beauty salon.
Okay.
Close. I'm going to close. And I'm like, yo, what am I supposed to do? I'm 19 years old. What am I supposed to do? So she went home.
So, where do we go from there?
So from there, I actually had built a couple of relationships with people, and I had a mentor that was able to help me, and he said, hey, I know this situation. I know somebody who I can put you in contact with that will probably lease you a space. So that's what happened, So I went and, he held my hand. Thank God for him. He held my hand every step of the way. And I signed my first lease at 20 years old. And that was a lease that I signed for the barbershop that I had then called Nap's Barbershop. So it's kind of like at 20, I had to decide, like, what do I want to do? Do I want to run a business, or do I want to run the streets with my friends? So it was kind of hard. I mean, it wasn't a hard decision. It was an easy decision, but a hard decision for a young man at that age to do, because I had to make a decision whether I wanted to have fun or I wanted to build a business. And that's just where it was. That's where it was at that particular time.
Okay. So you at Naps, you signed this lease, 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Signed a lease, not for a car.
Not a car
signed a
lease.
lease for a business.
A business lease.
Okay. So you signed a lease for a business. Again, we talked that network. I always got to bring that up. You had a network. You had someone that was there that could help you through the steps and help you with that. Great. I'm just always pushing toward that network, understanding that success comes with a network.
Yes.
Comes with people.
Yes.
Comes with people not only believing in you, but also helping you. You listening. You've been able to take advice, take guidance. Success comes with those things.
All that.
Okay. So I'm just putting it out there so our
Absolutely.
listeners understand these steps that you're taking. You're able to listen. You build a network. You made some good choices. You listened to your mom. You had some dreams. You thought about certain things. You were able to make a good reflection of yourself, where you were at. Even though your heart, you wanted to do these sports, you got to your heart, you realizing, hey man, I'm making these type of decisions. I'm not going all into it, Hey, this may not be what I want. Mom and them saying this, you really wasn't thinking, hey, this is what Barber. But they gave you, said, I'll give it a try. You tried it, you into it. Then you go with Aunt.
Yeah.
Now Aunt, you struggle for a while trying to even make it go, and now you're starting to get it, seeing consistent.
Yes.
Now Aunt is closing down.
Closing down.
So it's another one. All these are things where some people could fold. Some people could.
Obstacles where you just
You
give
could.
up.
Some people do. Some people use it as excuses. Or that's why I couldn't be this, or that's why I couldn't, because that's not true. So you use it as an opportunity to look how you could expand and step up. Stand on your own 2 feet.
Old school saying, sink or swim.
There you go.
How do you want to do it? I mean, you've built whatever it is that you're into. You've built it up to where it is for you to sit here and say, hey, you know what? Am I going to continue or I'm going to give up? I mean, I didn't have a give up spirit in me. So always fight. Don't ever give up. That's success.
Gotcha. Okay. So now we're building to why, this here, we talking about where you coming from, how you starting, where you going. And then we talking at 19, 20, you got a huge decision to make. business decision, sign this lease. See, now we get into why, the name Hair Jordan coming. So we get into, this ain't just a 5-year, 10-year. This is a lifestyle,
Right.
and a brand that you have built. Hair Jordan is a brand, like Air Jordan's it's a brand,
Right.
and the brand is, speaks more to the person, So this is more why I'm like, man, this is kind of where I want the title, because now we're getting to that part. Now we're here at this place. The first barbershop was called Naps. Okay, talk to me about as you start Naps, because you said you were starting to get that clientele built up. Did all that clientele, did it just automatically transfer over there to Naps?
No, actually, no. When I was at my aunt's salon, I had a good following, but it was during a period of time where a lot of people in Olathe, there wasn't a black barber, so I don't want to say wasn't a black barber shop. There was a black barber there, older guy who didn't do black hair. He was, Caucasian barber. But yeah, the word started spreading, like fire. I don't have to go to Wyandotte County. I don't have to go to Missouri. There's a barber out here who's doing quality cuts, So I was able to, open the barbershop at, 8:30, on a Tuesday. Old school barbers, 7 o'clock on a Saturday. And I worked hard every day, Tuesday through Saturday, from 8:30, 9 o'clock to almost 8:30 at night. You know what I mean? Sometimes 10 o'clock at night, depending on the day. So I mean, I burnt both ends trying to build the business and not say no, to anyone that was, wanting a haircut.
Okay. So you get in there, your things are going. How long in there before you get another barber, or do you get another barber?
Well, I started a business, and 3 years in, I just couldn't take it anymore. I had gotten to a point where it was time to ask for some help, hire another barber, and I knew that at that particular time, people were starting to get irritated with the long wait, and I would lose people because they didn't want to wait that long and go to another barber. So I was like, okay, I got to get some help.
Okay, so that's what the help was for. The help was because you being able to cut all the hair, overwhelmed with the amount of people coming, and then you're losing some of the people because of the amount of weight that they got to do.
Right.
Okay. So how'd you get a barber?
Well, there was a client that I had, that again, if he was like, hey man, I tried to call you, I couldn't get in, so I got a backup. But see, I didn't know he had he told me that, but I didn't know he had a backup. So I was like, one day he came by the barbershop and was like, yo, what's up, D? What up, D? And I make hair contact before I make eye contact. So I was like, oh, dog, where you get that haircut at? And he was like, oh, I told you if I can't ever get with you, I got another backup. I got a guy that I use. I said, oh, get him to me ASAP. I need some help. So that's when he introduced me to Aaron.
To Aaron?
Yeah, your brother.
Okay.
Your brother.
So that's the segue for us to bring him on in.
But yeah, is he been kicked out? Is he still here?
I mean, the security gave him a couple plates, and
he might be somewhere asleep.
So he's gonna get mic'd up, and he's gonna come on in as we continue to talk. So this is again network. This is a person that's one of your clients that you're talking to. The business is getting to where you are understanding, man, I'm losing some people because of the time. I need some help. You're getting overwhelmed because of the amount of people that's coming. And then also what I like, the fact is, I like that you said you worked. You worked. These long hours, man. Yeah. 8 to 10 is a long time.
Yes.
That's more than 16 hours.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's 18-hour days. You know what I mean?
And the biggest
on
thing,
your feet.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Biggest thing is when you're an entrepreneur, striving to be an entrepreneur, the biggest thing that you got to remember is if you're doing something customer service, entrepreneurs are dealing with customers. You have to go above and beyond for the customer. And that's what I kind of knew naturally. I didn't have to tell that. I didn't have to be told that. But I was just like, yo, what? I mean, this individual wants to get a haircut.
We're going to swing that mic just a little more towards you. This to you. He got his own mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like, hey, do I tell people no? Come on, man. They'll never come back.
Right.
I didn't know the word no in building. And I still to this day don't really know the word no. I mean, if I say no, it's because I'm tired. Like I will go above and beyond for people. But at the end of the day, I'm still human, not a machine. So my body does get tired. And it gets more tired now than it did then.
You're getting old.
I'm getting old.
Yeah,
I'm getting old. There he is.
You know, there he is.
Brother.
So, all right, we bringing him in. You know, instead of photo bombing, we actually bringing him in this time. Yeah, okay. So,
First of all, I would like to let both you guys know my attorney will be contacting each and every one of you guys for defamation of character.
He has no reason to contact me.
well, I mean, I don't understand why he'd even be contacting me.
I don't know where he think he has a case.
That's what I'm trying to say, but it's okay.
He interrupted.
That's what I'm saying.
Said he hit a jumper on me. Basketball. Stop it.
Yeah, okay. He talking about jumpers. He going all the way back to jumpers. We're talking about naps right now. Yeah. We're talking about naps. All right. So you said the barber comes in, and the first thing before you meet the face, you meet the hair.
All the time.
Okay. So you meet the hair, and you notice how you get a haircut.
Nice haircut.
All right. You tell him, get him to that barber, get him there.
Yeah.
What happens with that?
So, I mean,
do you remember this, Aaron?
he definitely remembers. So I told him, I said, hey man, get your guy over here. Let me meet him. You know, and you can go ahead and tell the story about the introduction when Rock brought you through.
So this is Rock.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
This is Rock that we talking about.
It's family.
Okay. We ain't got stuff, but this is Rock that you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. Which people don't know. This is a good friend of mine, good friend of his. You know what I'm saying? Known him since we were 18. You know, we've got a great tight relationship. So he's telling you that he's got somewhere because he lives in Olathe to somewhere else. Well, now what happens?
Well, I mean, I knew Rock was getting his hair cut somewhere else. You know, and me, I'm so hungry. I'm trying to make a statement every haircut I get. Like it's so crazy because once Rock told me, he said, "Hey man, I want to introduce you to DeJuan, man." I'm like, all right.
So were you in the barbershop at that time?
No. I tell you what, I came out of Barber College in '97, and I started working at Playboys on Quindaro. You know, Keith had left Playboys, and I took his seat for maybe 3 months, maybe. Bill let me in there. Miss Suma was the one that made that connection, and also it was Clarence Stevens made that introductions to me too. Because Bill cut everybody in the town. Okay. A lot of people, you know, him and Pete. But I worked there for a little while, cut Rocky's hair. Rocky said, "Hey man, let me make this introduction to DeJuan." He dropped me into what I call the barber orca tank. Okay. Because I had never met another barber other than where I came from that had that much detail and was as fast as he was. Okay. It was crazy.
Okay. So, well, he comes out, introduction comes. How does it start to where you now have a second chair? You got another bar.
I mean, it was already another chair in there.
Oh, so you already had another
I already
chair.
had another
You
chair.
just didn't have a barber.
I just didn't have a barber, so I
Okay.
just basically, in designing the whole structure of the place, man, it was just like, yo, I'm eventually gonna get to that point.
Okay.
So I had a 2-man shop, and so upon meeting him, you know, I knew. I'm gonna let him tell the story because it's more vivid in his memory than it is in mine. But I'm a playful kind of guy. You know, I like to play, and he does too. So
Yeah, he plays too much
tell
sometimes.
the story of how we went next door to Luttrell's up on your first day at the barbershop with me.
So this is my first rip with this guy, right? Like first time cutting hair.
Okay, you in the shop now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, first day cutting hair with him, and it was several people that came in there that was like, man, what's this dude, man? You know, so we had things going on all day, but it's so crazy. After we get done working, just instinct, we go next door. He said, hey, man, let me introduce you to Luttrell next door. And she might have came over during lunch or something and introduced herself or whatever, but we go over there right next door, and I'm not even knowing what he's doing. And he gets to teasing her. Like, oh, yeah, man, you know, I think I'm gonna have to sell the barbershop. It's just all bad, man. And I mean, you know, he's here to collect, and I just don't know what's going on. And I play right along with him. Don't even know what he's doing, though. And I'm like, yeah, because, I mean, he either going to have my money or something. Something's going on. And she's like, oh, my God, you know. And she's so, and then DeJuan like, nah, I'm just playing with you. And we've been, I mean, it just happens. Vibing, energy, the whole is crazy. And we always vibrate like that.
Okay. So how did the barbershop go after you brought you brought on another barber, and once he got on, how did the barbershop go from there?
Go or grow?
Either one, go, grow. How did it?
Man,
how did it go?
Like,
did it grow?
Oh, it grew. It was crazy. We was like, I mean, I hate to say this, but Batman and Robin. I was looking for a better analogy, but you know, when we joined together, man, we took Olathe and put Olathe in the headlock. We had a show, like literally me and him together, cutting, laughing, giggling, being barbers in that small little community over there on the west side of Olathe. It was great. I mean, they loved us. They gravitated towards me, and we met a lot of people and changed and were influences on a lot of young individuals.
Okay. So I gotta ask you this, because we run out of time. I could talk to y'all for days, but I gotta ask you this before I get into next. So how'd you get into cutting the athletes here, like the Chiefs players? Well, explain to me the first time how that happened.
Well, I mean, my very first client came to me at my aunt's shop.
Okay.
Where I first started.
Okay.
His name is J.C. Pearson.
Okay.
He's my first one. He was still an active player, just recently off the Chiefs roster to the Vikings roster. I have no idea to this day. I probably should ask him how he found me. I can't remember how he even found me. But that was my first professional athlete.
Okay.
And still, to this day, 25 years later, I still cut his hair. So, but how the whole Chiefs barber, whole aspect of things started was I dated a girl, and, it was like some teenage love type stuff. We dated, and we broke up, and then she started dating this athlete. And I was like, yo, put it in my face. It's my fresh off the breakup. Put it in my face. And I'm like, I don't even like that dude, man. He got my girl. I don't even like that dude, right? So she called me out of the blue. And her father had a barbershop. This is what baffles me to this day. Her father had a barbershop, but she was like, yo, I want you to go get a haircut by him. So he came. Tony Richardson. He came, and I cut his hair. And back then, we started gaming. I was video game junkie. He was a video game junkie. We became best of boys. You know, I was cutting his hair. And then he became the voice for me, for other players to follow, and for the organization to follow, because he was one of the staple players in the Chiefs organization. So they believed in what he said. The power of whatever he said was good. So they went to the head office people, and he's like, "Hey, who is DeJuan?" You know. So next thing you know, I'm the Chiefs barber. I'm traveling to training camp. I'm got a barbershop in the stadium. You know, I'm there on a weekly basis. I'm leaving the barbershop, and Aaron is taking the barbershop over for me, holding it down while in my absence. So that's kind of like how it started, somewhere back in '99. Somewhere in '99. So that's kind of like from there to where we are now. And of course, you know, when you do good business and you treat people right, it's going to continue to go and grow for you. So that's kind of what it did. It grew and then turned into what it is today.
Okay. Nice. So, I got to ask a couple stories I want you to talk about. So, tell me this story. Did you go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I mean, did you actually went to the Super Bowl? How'd you tell me about the
Oh,
story?
no, he left me.
Oh, he left you. So he left you. He didn't. So he didn't
went,
take.
Yeah, he went.
He went to the Super Bowl, but he didn't take you.
Yeah, he went.
Right hand man,
Yeah, he went.
run the shop while you gone.
Yeah, somebody has to stay.
Somebody got to run the shop.
Somebody got to stay behind and run the shop.
Somebody run the
Ran
shop.
with the family. He called me on the phone before they took off. Let me tell you what he said to me.
What'd he say?
Let me tell you what he said to
What'd
me.
he say?
He did it quiet. Like I could tell. I could tell he was. They, boom, boom. Can you please put your seatbelt on? You know.
Yeah.
Aaron, they got gorgonzola crumbles on the salad, boy.
He said you left the garbage on the crumbles.
Hey, just let me put it to you like this.
Okay,
Man. Like, the way I flew ain't the way we fly.
I understand that.
It ain't the way we
Talk to
fly.
me. How did you
went.
fly?
He went.
How did you fly?
I mean, I flew, first class.
First class. Okay.
Like on no other, man. I'm talking about
Okay.
family jet type thing. You know what I mean? It was crazy. The menu, I had never seen a menu like that before. When you travel, like Southwest don't have nothing like that. American Airlines don't have nothing like that. I mean, it was a full-on restaurant menu. Pick what you want.
Okay.
Going in, coming.
Okay.
Man.
So
Executive.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
flying to the Super Bowl, but when you got there, you talk, man, come on, man,
Oh,
talk
you-
that talk.
I mean,
Come on, man.
so, I
for
came-
those who don't know,
Right.
First of all, let's say this. For those who don't know, you are barber for a lot of Chiefs players. All right. Let's
So-
talk about how did you get to this?
Patrick Mahomes flew me
Okay.
down.
All
Patrick
right.
Mahomes flew me down.
Because you are his barber.
I'm his barber.
Okay.
And so it was an executive flight. It was really, really nice. You always see the president come down the stairway. So that's kind of how I felt when you come down the stairs after you exit the plane. You don't exit and hit a terminal like you always do for regular flights. You actually get down the steps into the parking lot. So you into the parking lot where
Into
you
the
got
limo.
where you got a shuttle or a private car that's gonna take you to the hotel. So we did it that way, and then we ended up at the team hotel where you have to show all your credentials and everything. But I ended up having to cut. I had my bag. I had to cut right away because players was already there. They was already waiting on me to arrive. They had the barber set up set up for me. I cut. Call it 3. Just say I got there and started cutting at 3. I probably finished around 9. With the players for that day, and then I ended up coming back again for a second round of players on the following day. And then it was, work first, and then I was able to have a little enjoyment, go out, do some Miami life, shopping is first. I love shopping, so I did that first, and then I went to some of the Super Bowl parties.
Okay. Nice, man. Good. So all this from Barber.
I mean, you got to put in the work to get it. It don't just come.
I like that. I like that. I good. So let's, this is some things that, I appreciate you being willing to talk about and go. We're going to go back and come back really quick. I just got a couple questions because I know we're getting pressed with time. I appreciate you coming. And I got to say this, man. Thank your family, for coming because I know you're taking time away from them. It's a Monday, your off day. I really, really do appreciate you coming.
Hey, you know what? Like, just to add, and didn't mean to cut you off. Like, my family is important to me, of course, like anybody who has children. But the sacrifice that I'm making right now, if I can affect one individual, is worth it. The time that I'm putting in here right now, whatever I'm giving up, if I can be an influence on just one individual, I'm good with that. If I can change a life, just one. If I can change multiple, that's even better. But just to be able to sit here on this platform with you guys, is an honor to me because I understand and I see what you guys are doing for the youth in the metro. So it's totally okay with me. My family they have enough of my time. So me to give some of my time to someone else is okay.
All right. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. So we're moving back. You're doing this barbershop naps. It moves. The transition from naps to, we talked a little bit, to Purple Label. What prompted you for that? I mean, things are going good at naps. Do you still just have the 2 chairs?
Well, I mean, it was two barbers, then another one, and 3 barbers, and I'm just kind of like, hey, you know what? I think it's time. We're growing. I'm traveling a lot. I want a 3-man shop, So I ended up, began to look for a bigger place, and it was like, okay, I can do a 3-man shop, but why stop there? It was that wisdom that came from somewhere that I didn't ask to be an employer for many, but it's kind of like one of the things that happened. So it's like, why stop with 3 and have a 3-man shop with a pool table, a sofa, a video game, whatever? That's not employing others. That's not making me any kind of money. So I decided to go with a bigger shop to employ others, to give others the opportunity. So that's kind of what happened with the transition between Nap's Barbershop and now Purple Label.
Okay. So I'm just going to ask a question. How has Purple Label done? Has it done what you thought it would do?
Beyond. I mean, I actually never, I can sit here and say that I always thought it would be this way. It's more than what I've ever imagined, ever thought it, I can't say wanted, because of course everybody wants their business to be successful, but it's definitely been a blessing to me and to all my staff that's ever been through there. Way more than I can even imagine.
Aaron, tell us about one of your most memorable experiences, with Juan at the barbershop. Talk to us. What was one of the memorable? It could be a funny one, a good, whatever. Just tell me what's one of the most memorable. And the reason I'm asking this is why I'm asking, so you understand. Because I've witnessed the bond that you guys got. I've witnessed being in the old shop. I've witnessed being in the new shop. And one of the things that I can say, honestly, is the camaraderie and the show. Like this when you come to Purple Label or to Naps, there is a little show that's put on.
Yeah.
And it's some back and forth. It's great, and everybody loves it. It's good. And I can say that it's one of the closest things. I'm not knocking no other barbershop. I've been to other barbershops. I'm not knocking nobody's barber, nothing. I'm saying that, when you look, that movie comes to mind, and you sit there, old Eddie, in barbershop, and then see, that's old Eddie, yeah. You see just the back and forth, but it's the camaraderie and everything that they got, the love, the families to back for. So that's why I'm bringing it. So I'm just asking about an experience, Tell us about the time.
And it's natural. It's natural. I mean,
Yeah, it's not rehearsed. It ain't scripted. It ain't rehearsed.
We've been rocking for 22 years, probably. So it's like all kind of back and forth, good and bad.
Yeah.
Happy and sad. So
Yeah.
I don't know. What you
we
think?
could. Me and him could have a knock him down, drag him out at night, and be right back to business in the morning.
And if he ain't in the business, I'm like, what, you ain't talking to me today?
What?
you call yourself mad because of what happened last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's good.
But you know what? More than anything for me, it's like achievement, man. Cause I've been able to achieve a lot.
Hey, time out. He asked for it.
I'm about to give it. Hold on. So this is.
I want to see this on camera.
This is a moment when I seen achievement. It was a guy, little kid came in there for an autograph. Come up to DeJuan. It's a player in the chair. DeJuan really's thinking he's coming for the guy in the chair.
Okay.
DeJuan says, "Hey, yeah, he said, yeah, I want to get your autograph." He's like, "All right, well, hold on, let me," getting ready to give it to Buddy in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
He said, no, I want you.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay.
I said, whoa, bro. Whoa, now that's gotta say something. And ain't no hate, ain't no jealousy. It's real life achievement. It's real life achievement. And it's so crazy because I've seen way more than that. But like you said, we on time. And it's gotta end on a note like that.
Okay.
Like this man has he's got a reputation in the city. There's been so many memorable times, like you said. But when you see somebody achieve something like that from hard work, dedication, a ball player, I wasn't trying to get the ball player's autograph, Picasso Bonds. I was trying to get yours. That's one of my most memorable.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's deep because I forgot all about that. That's real. I'm sorry for interrupting you though, man.
You always do it.
He knew what he was doing. I like that.
Oh my God.
We laid out the purple for you.
I
The
see
purple
that,
label.
man.
Had to make sure we had the purple out there. And then we've been rocking, with our Together We Stand banner. There's drip with the Jegna Klub and the purple label.
Yes.
Dalmatian strips on it. And I did that for several reasons because I want to show the importance of what the relationship and the connection that I have with you and my brother and with Purple Label. We can't say enough about how much you support us, especially with our community haircut social. It wouldn't be possible. It's impossible to have this without having, you two present. And for you to continue to support us and continue to give your time for that, it means the world, not just to us, but to the students and kids who come because, y'all probably get to see it, but you don't get to see it as much as I do, is when these kids leave and they get out of here, the smile, the love they have for this haircut. Because two things. Not only did they get a haircut from a professional barber, you know what I'm saying, that's giving them, and what it looks like, oh, I really got a good haircut. The parents is like, oh, like this hair, because it is professional. It's not like because because we're, and I'm saying this to express my appreciation of what you guys do for us and what you do for the community. One, your barbershops in Olathe, but you're coming down to Wyandotte County and you dedicate your time to us because this is where our program is. So that's one. But two, when you come down here, you giving them the same haircuts as the Chiefs players that sit in your chair or the Royals players that sit in your chair or the people who come and paying for the haircut. You give them the same exact haircut. I'm there. I watch them. I see the haircut. I see what comes out of this chair. They get the same care, the same professional haircut, and they love it. So we appreciate that. But then the other thing is people are starting to realize, and they knowing the barbershop, they've taken the barbershop, and they're like, man, they're asking me, is the barbers gonna be there? The purple label barbers? They gonna? I have parents. That say, man, are the purple label barbers there? Are they gonna be there?
Wow.
This time they coming. The one guy, okay, we coming back. They give good haircuts. They gonna, you know, and we know people. They have their own barbers and this and that go, but for this community event to go like that, and for the response that we have, not just from the community, but from other people in the media and other businesses that come, is because of what you guys make of it. And I had to take this time to say thank you. And if I haven't showed you or I haven't told you how much I appreciate both of you all for spearheading it for us, doing it, and actually giving other time, because I know it's a Sunday, and you giving a whole day of work, you know. But the lives that you're changing, and how much it means to kids. I'm still in the schools with them. I'm in the schools hearing the teachers and hearing the principals and the kids and some of the parents telling me some of the things, and now I'm relating to you how much they appreciate it, how much they love it, how much they can't, how much it made them feel. You know, I had a mother tell me I've never had my son pop up to go to school and be ready to go to school, but he think he's cute because he got this haircut. Now he ready to go to school. Same thing with the clothes that you help us get for our clothing drive. I had a parent say, man, my son, you know, he couldn't wait to go to school in these shoes. Couldn't wait to go to school in these clothes. Like, it's a whole new person. You know, another lady, my daughter just couldn't believe the haircut she got, because you all cut some of the girls' hairs too. She couldn't believe the haircut she got. So I'm singing the praise, giving flowers to both of you. Just appreciation, man, because for us to even get close to this 150 haircuts that we want to give out to the community, you know, the time that it takes it's just another testament to what you've accomplished and what you're doing, and then to how much you mean to more, you know, than just what you think, you know. I know sometimes you think you're only affecting the people, certain people, but you're affecting a lot of the people, and a lot of people appreciate it. So I had to end with that, like this to kind of end, but I had to make sure that I got that out, and I got both of you there because, you know, I love as much as I love my brother, and this wouldn't be possible without him. You know, he's the co-founder of what we do and everything, but the amount of giving that you all do and the time you give, it means so much to myself, and it means so much to this community that I got to make sure that people know that.
No problem, man. Again, as long as we're able to just affect one life, anything beyond that is in my opinion, is
Cream on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love to keep the kids and see the kids smile. So anything I can do for the kids to give back to the community and people, period, I'm all for it.
Purple Label love the kids.
Purple Label love the kids. All right, I got it. So this is a little different. People gonna be like, yo, you didn't end this one the same. I didn't, because this ain't the same. This is two different people. So I'm in it with that. I gotta say I thank you. Juan, I appreciate you, man.
Sure.
Love you. Bro, I love you. Appreciate everything. Thanks for coming on the show. It's a little longer. I can still talk to you. I still got other questions. So I want to reserve the right to bring you back for part 2 one day. All right?
Anytime.
Okay. All right. Well, this is be our episode tonight. I just want to make sure that you don't forget, tune in, tap in with my guy, Chris Dunlap, in the Red Pill segment for his financial tip of the week. We are out.
What's going on, good people? For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Chris Dunlap, and I'd like to thank you and welcome you for joining me on this episode of Red Pill. We will give you financial tips to help you decode the matrix. All offers truth, nothing more than truth. What you do with it is up to you. So, still in the series on investing, and today we're going to talk about mutual funds. So to break this down, very simple. A mutual fund is a pool of money, like we mutually agreed on putting all this money into one pot, and then we're going to fund across different portfolios with this money. So mutual funds come in a couple of ways. They can be managed by a hedge funds manager, which is someone who typically has their different licenses and have the knowledge of managing different funds and looking at what's performing and how they're performing against different indexes to make sure that your money is well balanced. or they can be passively, where you just put them in the fund that just tracks against the largest stock tickers like the Dow Jones Industrial Average or the S&P 500. So the good thing about mutual funds is they give you a wide exposure to the market, depending on the one that you pick. It's for those that really don't have the time or the patience to track things on their own or do really in-depth research. You pick a mutual fund, again, that keeps you very balanced. So while there are risks, just like there are with bonds and stocks of things fluctuating and going up and down, with mutual funds, they're typically lesser risk because they're more diversified across the board. Securities, stocks, bonds, commodities, you're getting exposure to the wider range of the market, as well as most mutual funds do the adjustment for you. So if there's a stock within the mutual fund that's not performing well, the mutual fund managers typically adjust those stocks and pull them in, bring them out to make sure that the mutual fund remains balanced and that they're tracking well against the Dow Jones Industrial Average or the S&P 500, which is going to increase your probability of having better returns than not. Again, thank you for joining me on this episode of The Red Pill, where we give you financial tips to help you decode the matrix. All I offer is truth, nothing more than the truth. What you do with it is up to you.